Asalaam Alaykum, which means may God's mercy be on you and peace. My name is Muhammad Taysir Safi. I grew up most of my life in Ann Arbor. Before that, we moved around between Springfield, Illinois, and Houston and Chicago. My parents are from Damascus, Syria. They immigrated here in the 80s. A chaplain, although it's originally a Christian term, has been used and is used as a title for all types of religious traditions. And chaplains work at a bunch of host institutions. So a chaplain might be at a hospital, they might be at a prison, they're at the Air Force, in the Army, police, academies, etc. And basically they serve to the religious needs of that institution from one particular religious tradition. That doesn't mean that they only deal with people from that religious tradition, but they deal with things from the vantage point of faith-based religion. And I'm a chaplain at the University of Michigan. I was hired in January. Before that, I had never served as a chaplain, nor was I trained as a chaplain. I worked as a youth director for 2.5 years. And I think that work, although not identical, is similar in that you're serving a community, particularly a young community, and you're trying to make faith relevant to them and try to translate, and don't read translate there as in from one language to another, but to translate the meanings from kind of the religious realm into their day-to-day lives. The Muslim community at the University of Michigan is extremely diverse. So we have Muslims from an array of different ethnicities. And so I'm not hired by, or I'm not employed by the University of Michigan in my role as chaplain. It's complicated because I also teach Arabic for the university and I am employed by the university in that position. I'm employed by a third party. It's called the Michigan Muslim Alumni Association.
My name is Chris Blauvelt. The Board of Trustees is part of a larger organizational structure that involves the Muslim Students Association and the Alumni Association. The Board of Trustees figures out what are the long-term objectives that we want for the students that we can raise funds from the alumni for, such as a chaplaincy.
They're actually seeking out to build an entire institution, kind of like the Newman Centers for Catholic students on university campuses, or the Hillels for Jewish students on campus, or the Chabad houses also for Jewish students on campus.
What Taysir is doing on campus has exceeded even our expectations. So we knew there's always been this need for a chaplain and a kind of a spiritual mentor on campus. But now as I work with him and talk to him about the cases he's dealing with and the people he's helping and the people, the external community coming to him from other colleges or other faith groups, it's incredible to see the amount of work he's doing.
I think Islam, has a cosmology, has a story about the world in which we're constantly trying to become more conscious of our Creator and the reason for our existence. So chaplaincy is similar in that it attempts to remind people of that covenant. The prophets were also people who served their communities, and so chaplains kind of, they find one way or another to be in service of communities. So I think it provides a lot of institutional support and a lot of building for the future.
He's really doing an incredible job of fostering relationships with students, between student groups, with administration, and addressing issues that previously were just swept under the rug or under the carpet. No one talked about them before. He says there's enough work for 3 full-time chaplains with everything he's doing.
A lot of it is just relationship building, right? I mean, you got to kind of be on the ground. Like if you're sitting in this office the whole time, you're really not going to meet anybody. So I try to help work with the university and those outside to come to some type of conclusion that would, keep the community safe, but also address the concerns that the community has. You can be beneficial to God's creation in all types of ways, whether you're a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or a business person or an entrepreneur or an artist, and that they're all great ways of serving God. I hope to be an individual that could connect people to God and His messenger, even if it's through other people.